Yeah, g'day. I've just been working out in the garden and thought I'd have a beer or two to relax since I was finished. And so I've got these two cans, and yeah, let's make a stove out of them. Okay, so we're going to need two cans, just aluminium cans. These are your standard 335ml cans, nothing special. You could use Coke cans, you could use whatever. You're going to need one marker pen. Nothing fancy there. Super glue is optional. You don't need it, but it does help seal the thing. I've just got a bit of wood and a chopping board so I don't mess up my barbecue table. And the other thing you'll need, trusty Leatherman. Okay, and that's all you need to make this thing. So yeah, let's get this set up right. Right, so all I'm going to do is put my board put my piece of wood on the board, put my marker pen against it, and then just circle the can. And all we're doing is scribing a line. There's nothing too spectacular about that. Same on this one. So we've just got two nice lines all the way around. Okay, now that you've got your line drawn around the can, this is where your trusty Leatherman comes into play. I'm just going to use the knife and just puncture a hole above my mark. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the scissors. Makes a change from my toenails, I guess, and I'm just going to work my way around that line. There's one. You can be as careful as you want here. I tend to take a bit more care with the one that's going to be on the outside, and a bit less care of the one that's going to be on the inside, just because the inside one's edges are all hidden anyway. So there we go, two can bases. This one here is the rougher looking one, so all I'm going to do with that, using the pliers, all I'm going to do is just bend it in 6 or 8 points around the outside. And then with this one, all I'm going to do is put the pliers on the edge put the can on the edge of a surface. Let's see if I can get that to show you. Put the can so it's hanging over the edge, put the pliers in the edge and run them round just to flare the end of it. So I'm just working that flared edge out. It just makes it a bit easier to put that can inside. We end up with a very slight flare. Then we push our two pieces together. The one that we've crimped up should fit inside the other one. Sometimes takes a little bit of finagling to get it in there. Just a couple more little bends inwards. It's about being tidy, but you don't have to be an engineer. Okay, get it in there. Once it starts, like so, we just push them together. Now, you're never going to get them completely sealed like this, or get them completely together, because as soon as you push them together, they want to pop back out. So what we've got to do is put a couple of holes in the top. One's going to be our filling hole, and then we're going to put our vents. Now I'm lucky, the Leatherman Blast has a small screwdriver on the end of it. I think you can, little tiny screwdriver. All I'm going to do is just use that to puncture a small hole in the top of the can like so. Then I can push it together so it's in there nice and snug, and we've got a very slight overlap around this edge. This is where the optional super glue comes in. All I'm going to do is just run that super glue around that edge, and it just helps seal any gaps from when the can pressurizes and the fuel vaporizes. So we'll just let that dry. That takes a couple of minutes. While we're doing that, we're going to mark out our vent holes. I like 12, so think about the points on the clock. You got 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 1, 2, 4, 5, so we've got them marked pretty much evenly around the 12 points of the clock. Okay, so all we're going to do with that little screwdriver is just puncture a hole in this rim here beside each of those marks. Wee screwdriver blade gets pulled out of its wee handle. You could use a thumbtack or a small nail or anything like that. The trick is not to have the holes too big, otherwise you can't get the pressure and the jets won't form properly afterwards. I've used drill bits for this, but you don't always have drill bits with you in the bush. Like I said, the super glue is optional. They work just as fine without it. You just often get a couple of unexpected smaller jets on the side as well, but that's all good. Okay, so I've got my 12 holes scattered around there. All I'm going to do where I've put this hole in the top is just put another couple of holes. So I've got 3 holes, and this is where we're going to fill the stove. One other thing you do need is a 10-cent piece. New Zealand, that's our smallest coin. Other parts of the world, yeah, just a coin about 1/2 inch diameter. So we can see that what that's going to do when we've filled it. We put that on top. It just provides a bit of pressure, seals it a little bit to stop those excess exhaust gases coming out the top. One more small step and we're done. Okay, what we can do is just go around and fold over those edges. And there we have a completely serviceable stove. If you want it to look a bit more professional, you could get some sandpaper and sandpaper the paint off it, but you know, it's a throwaway stove. But yeah, works very well. What we'll do is we'll go and give this thing a test day, go inside and try it out, see how it goes. My standard test is 500 mils of water, because that's a big cup of tea, or it's the maximum of the freeze-dry brand meals that I use here in New Zealand for camping trips. This version of the stove has no simmer control. It's pretty much just set up to boil water and nothing else. However, in another video I may put together a simmer ring to show you how that works. Anyway, let's go inside and have a go. Right, so let's give this a go. We need 30 mils of methylated spirits. That's the 30 mils. Put the penny on top. You saw I spilled a bit of meths, that's alright. That's what's going to preheat the stove. Do that. Yeah, well, g'day. Sorry I didn't get to do my test last night. A couple of wee things came up, so here we are outside in my yard again, and it's a nice calm morning, so I thought we'd try the cooker out, see how it goes. So yeah, I'll just talk through the gear I've got. So we have the stove, a pot stand, a cup with 2 cups of water in it, 500 mils, some methylated spirits, and a measuring cup. So first things first, measure out some fuel. So there's 30 mils of fuel. About 25 mils into the cooker, and the rest I'm going to use to prime it. Put my 10-cent piece on top. Light the fuel, and that's going to prime it. That should get the side jets going in about another 10-15 seconds. Bit of heat coming off there. You can hear the fuel boiling. Put the pot stand on. See the time. So it's about 10:37 in the morning, or 10:35 in the morning. I'll come back when it's boiled a bit. Well, we've been going about 2 minutes at this point. So won't be expecting it to boil, but we can see some bubbles starting to form on the bottom. So this is looking quite promising so far. Yeah, so obviously you need a pot stand with this one, so it's not quite as lightweight as the Fancy Feast stove, but yes, it's definitely a good stove. It's a slower heat, and I believe we can make a simmering for this, or perhaps another one very similar, so that might be another video. Yeah, we'll come back and have a look and see how she's boiling, eh? Well, we're a little over 5 minutes in, and it's still burning strong. You can still hear the fuel boiling inside the cooker, so there's still a reasonable amount in there. Looking inside the beaker, there's or inside the billy, there's definitely bubbles starting to form. I wouldn't call it boiling. Definitely warm enough for a cup of tea. We'll just give it another minute and see where we're at. It's getting close to 7 minutes. Remember, this is outside. There is a light breeze blowing, but I've got no windshield or anything up, so that's going to affect the efficiency slightly. But hey, it's a real life test. And the stove's just gone out. Yeah, I mean, without a windshield, we got up to a simmer, and you know, that's good enough for a cup of tea. I look like I need a strong cup of tea or coffee this morning. Sorry I didn't comb my hair. But yeah, it works. I'll make a heat shield and try that next time and see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for watching. Throw any feedback or improvements I could have made to the stove into your comments below, and yeah, have a good day. Thank you.